Okay, so last time I was showing you a very long, laborious process and how to factor when the initial coefficient is greater than 1. I'm going to show you the way I actually do it. It's way easier. It's self-contained. It's great. I'm going to show you with a positive, and I'll show you with some negatives just to show you the ideas behind it. Okay, this is called the kimmel asterisk method of factoring. So let's just get right into it. Before we do, we need to remind ourselves that each term has a letter associated to it. This is called the A term, this is called the B term, and this is called the C term. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is draw an asterisk. Some students like to call this the star. It's fine. And what you're going to do is you're going to multiply the A term, the coefficient of the A term, the number, times the C term at the top. The B term is going to go on the bottom, and then the A terms go on top again. It's pretty simple. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. A times C. Well, the A term is 4, and the C term is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. The B term, which I kind of remember as the B goes on the bottom, as the letter B stands for the word bottom, is 13. So this should look sort of familiar at this point because it's just an X box. Those X boxes that we've been doing all year, what multiplies to 12 that adds up to 13? We've been doing these all year, and the answer would be 12 times 1. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. And remember I said here you just put the A term. So let's think about what we actually did here. All we did was multiply 4 times 3. And then we put the B in the bottom. We just did our X box. And then we just put the A terms in. It's not really that hard. It's not that challenging. You almost have the answer. The last step is just to reduce, if you can, to simplify. Is there a common factor between 4 and 12? Well, there is. The greatest common factor would be 4. 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 goes into 12 3 times. Is there a common factor between 4 and 1? No. So it's just a 4 and 1. Now we just write our answer. So it's 1. You just go in the order you see it. 1x. Since it's a positive 3, you put plus 3. 4x. See, I'm just going in order. Plus 1. So I started at the top here, and I went down. That's my 1x plus 3, and then I started at the top here, the 4x plus 1. That's the answer to that question. Okay, we did it last class. I don't know if you remember. We did all these steps, and it took us a real long time to get the answer. I forgot my x here, but here it's very fast, and what I like about it, it's really all on this little box. When I say self-contained, you can do it all in a little box. So let's do another one here. Okay, so we're going to multiply A times C. 2 times negative 7. We're going to put the B on the bottom. We're going to put the A's on the top. The A term is 2, right? We're going to see what multiplies to a negative 14 but adds up to a negative 5. 7 and 2. A negative 7 times 2. Negative 7 times 2 is 14, and negative 7 plus 2 would be a negative 5. Now we're going to simplify. These can't be reduced. They're already simplified. But 2 over 2 can be reduced to a 1 over 1. Then we're going to write the answer in the order we see it. 2x minus 7. 1x plus 1. I did this question in a matter of, I would say, a minute. And the other way, the trial and error way, when I was even doing the video, I think it took me like 4 minutes to show you guys how to do it. It's just a much quicker way. It's the way I use, okay? But what do you do if the initial coefficient starts as negative? That's not allowed, right? So what you do is you would factor out that negative. You would take, almost like the negative 1 would become a greatest common factor. And then if you were to divide that -1 to each of these terms, well, negative divided by a negative would turn it to a positive. -1, I'm sorry, -8 divided by a -1 would become a +8. A 5 divided by a -1 would become a -5. So basically, when you have a negative as an initial coefficient, you turn it to a positive, and you work with this. Okay, I'm wondering if you guys can get the answer with it. What will go up here? Yeah, a times c. Remember, what goes here? The x. What goes here on the top here? The a. If you watch different videos online, some people will put the a on the bottom, some will put it on top. It can work out either way, but it's just the order you would write the question in. I like to write it from the top to the bottom. If that confused you, don't worry about it. Just if you do what I'm doing, you will get it right. Okay, so what multiplies to a -20 but adds up to 8? Well, that would be a -2 times 10, right? -2 times 10 is a -20. 10 take away 2 is 8. Now to simplify, reduce. What's the greatest common factor? Well, 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into a -2 a -1 time. What's the greatest common factor? It's 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Then just write it in the order that you would see it from top down. The answer is 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 5. But actually there's 3 answers on this one because we factored out that -1 in the beginning. So because we factored out that -1, I would put a -1 as the third choice. There's actually 3 factors being multiplied by, I'll put in parentheses because it's how I'm multiplying it, by each other. All right, we did 3 problems, and probably, let's see if I can tell. I don't know, probably under 9 minutes, and I was explaining it, so under 3 minutes a problem. And I'm teaching it, I'm explaining it. We can go much quicker. So what could take 20 minutes to do 3 problems, you can do much quicker if you use this kimmel asterisk method, okay? All right, sounds good.